The official story says that Prince Harry has always been a free spirit, someone who challenged the traditions of the British monarchy out of sheer rebellion. But what if this narrative was just a smokescreen? Since childhood, he was treated differently, kept away from the great responsibilities that befit a prince of his position. His role was never clearly defined, and rumors about his origins were always present. While William was being prepared for the throne, Harry seemed like a mere extra in a play where he was never truly welcome. Diana, his mother, knew that the monarchy hid secrets. She herself stated, in interviews and private letters, that her life was in danger because she knew too much. But what exactly did she discover? And more importantly, could this secret have been directly connected to Harry? Some theories suggest that the answer to this question goes far beyond politics and palace intrigues, involving hidden bloodlines, genetic experiments, and even connections to secret societies. Could this be the real reason why Harry had to flee the monarchy? From birth, Prince Harry never seemed to fully fit within the structure of the British royal family. While his brother William was carefully shaped to take the throne, Harry was always treated as someone on the sidelines, as if his existence were a mere detail rather than a fundamental piece in the line of succession. But why? In all monarchies, the second son typically plays a strategic role, whether in diplomacy, military command, or other prestigious positions. However, Harry never had a clear purpose. From an early age, his role was vague, his political training limited, and his presence at important events seemed almost purely ceremonial. This difference in treatment became even more evident as the brothers grew up. William was always by the Queen's side, present at key moments of the monarchy, while Harry often seemed like just a guest within his own family. Official photographs from the time show William surrounded by crown mentors, while Harry sometimes appeared merely as an ornament in the scene. The official justification was that he was not the heir and therefore did not require the same level of preparation. But does this explanation really make sense? If we analyze other royal families throughout history, we see that the second son usually has a well-defined position. In Spain, for example, Infanta Elena, despite having no real chance of ascending to the throne, received top-tier training and plays a strategic role in international politics. In Japan, Prince Akishino, the brother of Emperor Naruhito, holds crucial institutional functions. But what about Harry? He never had a fixed role, as if his presence had been an inconvenience to the monarchy from the very beginning. And then we reach an intriguing point, the way the media shaped Harry's image. Since adolescence, he has been portrayed as the rebel, the troublemaker, the prince involved in scandals. While William was described as a natural leader, Harry was the reckless young man, constantly entangled in controversies. But was this behavior truly spontaneous? Or was he deliberately placed in this role to distance him from the seriousness of the monarchy? A striking case was the 2005 costume party incident, where Harry was photographed wearing a Nazi swastika armband. The scandal was immense, and the monarchy had to work hard to contain the damage. However, what few know is that William was also at the same party and, according to witnesses, helped Harry choose the outfit. Yet, curiously, William emerged unscathed from the controversy. The monarchy protected its heir, while Harry was left to be torn apart by public opinion. Was this merely favoritism toward the firstborn, or was there something more? Looking at historical patterns, the British monarchy has always protected its most important members. Scandals involving royalty were suppressed, investigations were blocked, and compromising stories simply vanished from the newspapers. But with Harry, things were different. His small mistakes were turned into major headlines. Scandals that could have been contained were amplified. But why? The answer may lie in the monarchy's perception that Harry was not one of them. But what does that really mean? Many theories suggest that the British royal lineage has an obsession with pure blood, a concept dating back centuries of arranged marriages designed to preserve a specific genetic heritage. If Harry had something in his genetics that deviated from this pattern, it would make sense for him to be treated as an outsider from the start. And here enters an even more unsettling detail: the royal family's alleged involvement with theories about ancient bloodlines and their supposed connection to the so-called reptilians, an extraterrestrial race mentioned in various ancient cultures. Could it be that the British royal lineage truly has a different origin? And if so, was Harry excluded because his genetics did not align with the expected heritage? The question remains, Did the British monarchy always know that Harry was different, or was it Harry himself who discovered something that changed his perception of his own origins? If there was anyone who knew the dark backstage of the British royal family, it was Princess Diana. From the moment she married Charles, she realized that the monarchy was far more than just a symbol of tradition. There was something hidden, something that could never be exposed to the public. She was not naive. She knew she was surrounded by powerful interests and, over the years, let slip small hints about truths that could never be revealed. But what exactly did she discover? One of the strongest indications that Diana knew more than she should comes from a letter she wrote in 1995, 2 years before her death. The document, revealed by her former butler Paul Burrell, stated that someone within the monarchy was planning a car accident to silence her. When this letter was made public, it caused worldwide shock. How could she predict her own fate with such precision? Had she uncovered something so dangerous that her elimination became inevitable? But there is an even more intriguing detail. Throughout her life, Diana made several enigmatic statements about her relationship with the royal family. She once said that she felt as if she were surrounded by beings that were not human, a remark many interpreted as a metaphor for the coldness of the royals. However, for those who study conspiracy theories about hidden bloodlines, this statement could have a much deeper meaning. David Icke, one of the main researchers of the reptilian theory, claims that the British monarchy descends directly from a non-human lineage. According to him, these hidden bloodlines maintain their genetic heritage through arranged marriages and strict control over their descendants. This would explain the monarchy's obsession with preserving blood purity, a concept that has always been crucial within royal circles. But what if Diana, by becoming pregnant with Harry, had somehow disrupted this pattern? Rumors about Harry's true paternity have always existed. The most frequently mentioned name in these theories is James Hewitt, a former British Army officer with whom Diana had an affair. The physical similarities between Harry and Hewitt are striking. Both have red hair and remarkably similar facial features. However, Hewitt has always insisted that his relationship with Diana began only after Harry was born. Is this the truth, or are there details that have never been disclosed? Given the monarchy's history of handling scandals, it is strange that a public DNA test was never conducted to put an end to the rumors. After all, if Harry were truly Charles's son, a simple test could have settled all speculation. Yet, the monarchy has never shown any interest in resolving this issue. What are they hiding? Now, imagine the impact this revelation would have. If it were proven that Harry is not Charles's biological son, he would lose any right to the line of succession. But what if the secret were even bigger? What if Diana became involved with someone outside the royal lineage not just out of love, but for a much more significant reason? Some theories suggest that Diana, upon realizing the truth about the royal family, may have deliberately ensured that at least one of her children was not part of that system. Or, even more disturbingly, that Harry was the result of a genetic experiment, something the monarchy could never allow to be exposed. Diana's death, officially attributed to a car accident in Paris, still raises suspicions to this day. Witnesses near the tunnel where it happened claim there was a strong security presence before the crash. The driver, Henri Paul, was accused of being drunk, but conflicting toxicology reports and videos showing his normal behavior before the accident cast doubt on this version of events. If we consider that Diana knew something about Harry that could never be revealed, her death may have been much more than just an accident. And if the royal family realized that, sooner or later, Diana would speak publicly about this secret, did they have something to lose? Now, think for a moment. If Harry grew up hearing from his mother that something was wrong, that the monarchy hid dark truths, and that she herself feared for her life, how would that have shaped his perception of his own existence? If he truly uncovered what Diana knew, wouldn't it make sense that he would try to escape this fate at any cost? Perhaps this is the key to understanding his abrupt departure from the monarchy. It wasn't just about media pressure or family conflicts. If Diana held a secret that could change everything, Harry may have spent years trying to piece together this mystery. And when he finally found the truth, he realized he could no longer remain within the system that destroyed his mother. The ultimate question remains: what exactly did Diana discover, and will Harry ever have the courage to tell the world? If there was one event that definitively marked Harry's break from the monarchy, it was his wedding to Meghan Markle. The 2018 ceremony was broadcast to millions around the world, But few noticed the subtle details suggesting that this wedding was much more than just a union between two people. It may have been a ritual of separation between Harry and his lineage. From the start, it was clear that Meghan was not welcome in the monarchy. Buckingham Palace made a point of distancing itself from the couple, something that had not happened with other royals who married outside the aristocratic circle. But was the issue really just Meghan? Or was this wedding merely the catalyst for something that had been planned for a long time? The ceremony's location, St. George's Chapel, holds deep significance within the British monarchy. It is the home of the Order of the Garter, one of the oldest and most influential secret societies in the world. Founded in the 14th century, this order gathers the most powerful members of British royalty and politics. Interestingly, it was inside this chapel that Harry symbolically severed his ties with the monarchy by marrying Meghan. Another intriguing detail was the sermon delivered by Bishop Michael Curry, which stood in stark contrast to the traditionalism of royal ceremonies. His speech spoke of liberation, transformation, and the power of love over ancient structures. But what if this message was a code for something greater? Many symbolism experts claim that speeches like this are used in occult ceremonies to mark a transition between different realities. And what about the flowers used in the ceremony? One of the main floral arrangements included forget-me-nots, supposedly Diana's favorite flower. What many don't know is that, in esoteric symbolism, this flower represents buried secrets and memories that must not be forgotten. Was this an innocent tribute to Diana, or a silent message about a mystery still hanging over the monarchy? Furthermore, Meghan's choice of wedding dress also drew attention. Unlike the traditional designs worn by other royal brides, her gown featured subtle geometric details, particularly hexagons and triangles, shapes often associated with secret societies and occult symbols. Was this merely a coincidence, or were Meghan and Harry sending a coded message to the world? Another curious factor is that, shortly after the wedding, Harry and Meghan announced they did not wish to live under the monarchy's rules and wanted independence. What happened between the ceremony and their decision to renounce their royal titles? It was as if, in that moment, Harry had finally severed the last tie keeping him bound to the royal lineage. And there is an even more mysterious point. According to British press reports, just days before the wedding, Harry was seen accessing private royal family records. What was he looking for? Could it be that, as he prepared for a new chapter in his life, he was trying to confirm something about his origins? His departure from the monarchy was not just a personal decision, it was accompanied by a true campaign of isolation. Shortly after the ceremony, the couple announced they were leaving the royal family, and in what seemed like a desperate move, Buckingham Palace swiftly stripped them of their titles, privileges, and even security protection. Why was the monarchy so quick and aggressive in cutting ties with Harry? If other royals had distanced themselves before without such a reaction, why was Harry's case treated as a threat? Now, stop and think. Was Harry's wedding just a romantic event, or did it mark a symbolic and definitive break with the monarchy? If the royal family truly hides ancient secrets about its lineage, could it be that Meghan was seen as a risk because she might help Harry uncover something that was never meant to come to light? And more importantly, if this wedding was the key to Harry understanding his true story, will he ever have the courage to reveal to the world what he discovered? What happens when someone discovers that their origins might not be what they always believed? To many, Harry has always been a prince who didn't quite fit in, but what if that feeling was more than just an impression? What if he truly had a different origin, something that had been carefully hidden from him for years? Here, we enter an even more intriguing territory. The Montauk Project, a supposed experiment conducted by the US government between the 1970s and 1980s, involved genetic manipulation, mind control, and even attempts to create hybrid beings. According to insiders and leaked documents, this project was part of a secret network of scientific experiments aimed at creating a new generation of humans with special abilities. But what does this have to do with the British royal family and, more specifically, with Harry? First, we need to understand that the British monarchy has always had an obsession with bloodlines. For centuries, marriages were arranged not for love, but to preserve a specific genetic trait. This wasn't just a matter of cultural heritage, there was something deeper behind this control. But what if this obsession wasn't solely about aristocratic lineage, but rather the preservation of genetic characteristics linked to something beyond human understanding? Historical records show that the British royal family, like other aristocratic families in Europe, has long maintained close ties with secret societies and obscure scientific programs. Some of these societies, such as the Order of the Garter, have a history of involvement with studies on genetics and esotericism. But there's an even more disturbing detail. In the mid-1980s, around the time of Harry's birth, multiple researchers claimed that secret experiments were being conducted parallel to the Montauk project, exploring the crossing of specific bloodlines to create genetically modified individuals. Now, consider this. Harry was born in 1984, at the peak of these experiments. Could his lineage have been involved in these projects more deeply than we imagine? If the British monarchy does indeed have connections to these secret societies, is it possible that he was a genetic experiment from the start? Another factor that raises suspicion is the monarchy's treatment of Harry. If he were just a rebellious prince, why was there such a significant effort to discredit and isolate him? In 2008, while Harry was serving in the British military, his deployment in Afghanistan was mysteriously leaked, putting his life at risk and forcing his immediate return to the UK. But was this merely a military blunder, or did someone want him back before he uncovered things he wasn't supposed to? Additionally, reports indicate that in the years leading up to his departure from the monarchy, Harry began asking uncomfortable questions. Sources close to him claim that he showed interest in accessing private royal family records and even openly questioned why he had never undergone a publicly disclosed DNA test. Could he have started suspecting that his genetics were different from what he had been told? Another intriguing point is Diana's behavior. On multiple occasions, she hinted that there were dark forces within the monarchy and that her life was in danger because of them. What if she knew more than she could reveal? If Diana truly discovered something about Harry's origins, it makes sense that her death would have been seen as convenient for those who wanted to keep this secret buried. Now, one final question. Did Harry truly leave the monarchy due to media pressure and family conflicts, or was his departure an attempt to escape something much bigger? If he were just a prince seeking freedom, he wouldn't have maintained connections with certain elite figures suspected of involvement with secret societies and hidden programs. The truth may be far more unsettling than we imagine. If any of this is real, will Harry ever have the courage to reveal to the world what he has discovered? Or does he already know that some truths are too dangerous to be told? Among all the theories surrounding the British monarchy, one of the most controversial is the idea that certain royal bloodlines possess genetic traits that are not entirely human. This may seem absurd at first, but the theory did not emerge out of nowhere. It is based on historical accounts, ancient symbolism, and most notably, visual evidence that many claim to have observed over the years. And Harry's name appears frequently in this context. One of the strangest allegations circulating on the internet relates to the behavior of Harry's eyes. There are videos and photos where his eyes seem to subtly change shape or exhibit an unusual glow, something some dismiss as a trick of lighting, but others believe to be a sign of his hidden lineage. The question is, why does this phenomenon not appear to happen with other members of the monarchy? David Icke, one of the leading researchers of the reptilian theory, suggests that certain elite bloodlines possess different DNA, which can occasionally manifest in visible ways. According to this theory, the eyes are among the first indicators of a glitch in the illusion these bloodlines maintain. The idea might sound like something out of a sci-fi movie, but there is something strange about the records of Harry. In 2016, during an official event, cameras captured an unusual moment. While Harry was conversing with others, his eyes, for a brief second, appeared to change shape, becoming more elongated and reflective, almost like a feline's eyes. This video went viral within conspiracy communities, with some claiming it was an actual anomaly, while others suggested it was merely a camera glitch. But was it really just that? And this wasn't the only time something like this happened. In childhood photos, Harry's eyes sometimes appeared noticeably brighter and more reflective than usual, something that could be attributed to lighting but for some, hinted at something more. In another instance, during a television interview, viewers reported that, for a few moments, his eyes reflected light in an unusual way, creating an effect similar to what happens with certain animals in the dark. Now, stop and think. If all of this were just a camera effect or an optical illusion, why don't similar cases occur with other members of the monarchy? William, for instance, has never been the subject of such theories. This reinforces the idea that Harry might be different in some way, possessing something in his genetics that does not align with what the monarchy expects. If the royal family truly descends from an ancient bloodline and is so concerned with the purity of its lineage, Wouldn't it make sense for an unexpected mutation to appear in one of its descendants? And if this happened with Harry, it would explain why he has always been treated differently. Beyond visual evidence, there is another curious detail. Why has the monarchy never addressed these claims publicly? Over the years, countless conspiracy theories have emerged about the royal family, and some were quickly debunked by Buckingham Palace. But the claims about Harry and his possible genetic differences have always been ignored. Wouldn't it be simpler to disprove everything with a public DNA test or a straightforward explanation? This silence raises suspicions. Could the monarchy fear that questioning Harry's genetics might lead to even deeper discoveries about the origins of the royal family itself? Or did Harry, after noticing these strange phenomena throughout his life, begin his own investigations and uncover something he was never meant to know? If this is true, we might be looking at one of the greatest secrets of the British monarchy, a secret that Harry may have discovered too late. The real question is, if he knows what's happening, will he ever have the courage to tell the world? Or are there some truths that simply cannot be revealed? Prince Harry has spent his entire life surrounded by doubts, shadows, and secrets that seem to have placed him in a different role within the monarchy. From the strange treatment he received as a child to the theories about his lineage and the possible discoveries that led him to abandon everything, his story appears far more complex than a simple desire for freedom. If Diana knew something about him and tried to protect him, her death may have been a silent warning about what happens to those who challenge the system. And if Harry, over the years, began piecing together this mystery, it makes sense that he chose to walk away from the only life he had ever known. But the biggest question remains unanswered. Does Harry know the truth about himself? If he uncovered something that made him realize he was never meant to be part of the monarchy, will he ever have the courage to reveal it to the world? Or are some secrets simply too big to be told? If you're interested in exploring more about spirituality, I've selected some fascinating videos filled with deep knowledge and discoveries just for you. Click on one of them and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to continue this journey of self-discovery and spiritual learning. Your commitment to knowledge is the first step toward transforming your reality.